All right, Jack Phillips is a baker. He bakes cakes. When I'm told he's a very good baker, not only cakes, cookies, you name it. So I don't know why I have not visited his shop, but I will. But he is approached by a gay couple, and they want him to make a cake for their wedding. Jack said he couldn't do that. But rather than me elaborate on that, we've got Jack Phillips here. We've got Kristen Waggoner, his attorney, here as well. Pick up from there, Jack. The gay couple comes in, a male couple?
Yeah, a male couple.
Okay.
David and Charlie. They came in. It was a beautiful sunny afternoon in summertime 3 years ago, and sat down at the desk. One of my daughters was working behind the counter. She was busy, so she indicated that, you know, if I would go over and sit with these two guys. So I sat down with them. We exchanged names. They said, "We're here to look at wedding cakes." And the other one said, "Yeah, it's for our wedding."
So they said that specifically. It's for our wedding.
It's for our wedding.
Okay.
And so I said, "I'm sorry, guys, I don't do cakes for same-sex weddings." And they, you know, looked surprised. They said, "What?" I said, "You know, I'll sell you cookies, brownies, birthday cakes, shower cakes. I just don't do cakes for same-sex weddings." At which point, one of them stomped out that door, and the other one went out this door. He flipped me off and swore at me. And like 20 minutes later, I get a phone call. "Are you the baker who just turned away a gay couple?" So I turned away a wedding cake for a same-sex wedding. And so they swore at me. And then the phone rang again. And normally it'd be my daughter's job to answer the phone, but she was still busy with other customers. So I answered the phone and picked up, you know, these really rude, vile phone calls, and I told her.
So not all originally from this couple, but from obviously others
yeah.
they had told.
So apparently they had alerted their friends to give me a call.
Did they hurt your business? Did they put out the word, "Don't go to this guy's shop"?
They did. It didn't have much of an effect.
Until they sued?
Until they sued, and we lost in Colorado.
In this case, Chris, what did the court rule here? That he had to serve gay couples, or be specific?
Yes, the court ruled that if he provides any wedding services to any heterosexual couple, that he must provide that same service to a same-sex couple, even though he's gladly served gays and lesbians for many years in his shop. It's just a singular event that he has a religious conviction about, and that's that marriage is between a man and a woman.
Now, we have the law now. The Supreme Court says, you know, gay marriage is the law in all 50 states. You're the lawyer here. Is he in hot water on that basis alone?
No, I don't think he is. We do have a decision by 5 justices that have attempted to redefine marriage, but the First Amendment protection is still there for people like Jack, and it's really to serve all of our interests. This kind of government coercion, regardless of what you think about marriage, should terrify all of us, that the government can compel someone to violate their convictions and to engage in speech to promote a message.
But what if a mixed-race couple came in to his bakery, and I will raise this one, and they wanted a cake for their fair? Now, there used to be a time in this country where people were morally, religiously opposed to that. And in a day, I'm sure there were bakers who said, "No, I won't serve at such a wedding." What's the difference?
Well, I would say that the history there is a little bit different if you go back and look at what actually happened and what was motivating that. We had an insidious system of exploitation of African Americans, and I would say that the
Gays argue there's been an insidious system of exploitation of them.
Which is exactly a bullying method that they try to use against people to shut them up. It's an intellectually bankrupt analogy.
So you're both appealing, right?
Correct.
And where does that stand?
We have to file the papers with the court within the next few weeks, and then the Colorado Supreme Court will make their decision whether they hear the case or not.
When you heard that the Supreme Court ruled, and to your lawyer's point, a 5-4 decision in favor of gay marriage, as apparently a very deeply religious man, how did you feel?
I was disappointed in the court's decision, but it's a different decision than what my case is. My case is the government is trying to force me to violate my personal religious freedom and, you know, create a cake for a ceremony that I have objections to.
Now, in the meantime, let's say you lose this case on appeal, and what they're saying is someone comes in, a heterosexual couple, a homosexual couple, you have to provide for them. No difference. What do you do?
There is no difference. I treat all of my customers the same. I've been doing this for 40 years.
No, I understand that, but you won't make a cake for a gay wedding.
Correct.
Right? You will for a heterosexual one.
Right now, we're not. We're not making any wedding cakes. So that's taken a pretty good chunk of my business away at the government's
really?
decision.
Have you been fined any financial amount?
No,
Yeah.
there's not been a court vote.
Not yet, but I also want to point out.
I'm sorry, is this couple suing you
The
monetarily?
no, not monetary.
They are not seeking monetary damage in the current process that we're going through. But I would also point out there's an Aussie Car Bakery case that's also before the same commission. And a Christian man came in, a customer, and asked the Colorado baker to please do a cake that would express a religious opposition to same-sex marriage. The same commission that ruled against Jack ruled for the baker in that instance.
Is that right?
Yes. And yet that same commission compared Jack's religious beliefs to being perpetrators of the Holocaust. That is very disturbing.
You know, Jack, this is heinous of me to say, so I apologize for my question and what I'm going to ask. If you had not said why you couldn't make a cake for a gay wedding and just said, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it, we're not doing cakes right now, I'm inundated, you could have gotten away with it.
I could have, but that would be a lie. And as a Christian, the Bible teaches not to lie, and I want to honor my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Do you have gay friends?
I do.
When they heard all the hullabaloo of what you did, what have they told you?
One of them apologized, a blanket statement for the gay community that we understand where you come from, that this is not what all gays are about.
So when you hear all the nasty things that have been said about you and the phone threats and everything else, and you've been portrayed as this religious freak who's, all but a racist, how does that make you feel?
There are comments by people who don't know me, who haven't taken the time to come into my shop and get to know me. They're just making an assumption that that's what I am. But that's still beside the point. That what this case is about is, as an American citizen, I do have First Amendment rights to practice my religious freedom.
What has your daughter told you?
My
Maybe
daughter's-
she should have taken the couple.
No, she's right behind me.
Yeah.
We don't have a written policy, but my daughter's a strong Christian also, and she knows where we stand on it. So,
Where do you think this goes?
I think ultimately we're seeing cases across the nation. One of them will go to the court. And I think that America should pay attention because civil liberties travel together. So whether you're religious or not, if religious freedom grows, economic freedom is impacted, freedom of the press is impacted. This is an issue that we all need to stand and defend. And it's one of the hallmarks of our Constitution that's at stake.
Amazing case. You're a pretty amazing guy, standing your ground. We'll follow this case very closely. We'll have more after this.